Yeah,
Do you pay?
yeah.
See, our.
It's like $300 a trip or
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's the.
So you don't pay
No, we don't pay, very seldom do we.
Right.
Very
because
seldom.
they're
Because they
Ossipee
can bill their
citizens?
insurance.
No, because the insurance will cover it.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Mr. Babson?
I understood Sandy to say that Ospey was paying it somehow?
No. The
You as a
town-
taxpayer in Ossipee are paying through the nose for ambulance service for our nursing
No.
home.
That's how I read it.
I'm so sorry if that's the way it came across. We were looking at the selectmen as far as they had put it out to bid for the town of Ossipee, as far as, and so essentially we haven't, acted or changed the response, what they're, we use, no, it's not MedStar.
Lifestar.
No,
But,
The Life Store?
Lifestyle.
That used to be MedStar.
Yeah, MedStar,
Yeah.
the local.
And that's sensible because it's
Yeah.
right down the road.
Yeah. And again, the issue is that, but I do have a responsibility for the residents, and the fact of the matter is, if they're paying out of pocket for any reason, I do have to make sure that at some point that they're making sure that it has the quality that's there as far as, that's cost effective.
Yep.
You said you were using Effingham?
Well,
I thought they had one,
no, Effingham used Life Store.
yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
alluding to when I
Gotcha.
was,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
and at one time, in the jail, if the person that's in the jail is from the town of Ossipee, Ossipee picks up that cost because that's an Ossipee resident. Otherwise, outside of Ossipee, we have to pay.
And then we get involved in, and this isn't because of the issues of payment necessarily, but, we take our residents with our bus, our van to a doctor's appointment. But there may be residents that, for whatever reason, need to be out on a wheelchair van. So it's an ambulance service and it's a wheelchair van that we're looking for, and also who can meet our needs. So.
I have a question on, before we go to the next group. The chaplain, you don't have anything in there for chaplain anymore?
We have a rotating clergy that comes for Sunday service or during the week.
But there's no charge?
There's no charge. Mr. Dales, Randy Dales comes once a month, and who spoke at the groundbreaking, and we have others that come on Sundays, or hymn sings and different things. So, what do you have the last? Have we not? So what I've presented to you, I believe, and then we have some adjustments to look into, but we look at a revenue increase of 6.78%, and we're looking at an expense increase of 2.95%.
A deficit of $2,32,000.
That's correct. But I say that as we speak today, because I do believe that will change, having to do with what our Medicaid per day revenue will be effective January.
Changing which way, up or down?
We should get more because of our new building. How much more? That's yet to be
The
seen.
difference between expenses and revenue is to the good is $244,000.
You're saying.
If you take the expenses, $11,579,
And take
11
away
million.
take away
No.
9 million, you
It's
come up
two.
with 2 million.
Yeah,
wait a minute.
Yeah,
wait a
yeah.
minute.
and
I don't think it's 11,000.
Round.
no.
It's 11
Yeah.
million.
And the reason why I started off by saying that we don't have the stimulus money, which is $320,000. We don't budget pro share, at least we never have. And again, people are saying, why is your revenue always understated, and then all of a sudden you come back and you have that? It's because this is the way it is,
Yeah.
unless I'm being
If the state,
instructed.
if the state reps can guarantee that's what we're gonna get, we'll put it in there.
That's right, that's right. So, and I, you know, so again, and then, so we have the pro-share money, we have the stimulus money, and then we have Medicare down 11.1%. So that's where we are.
Go ahead, Mr. Babson.
I see a problem with the delegation here after all the horn blowing we've done about turning up in the black this year.
Yeah.
To go next year to be in the hole, almost the same thing as we were before we built the new nursing home. It's gonna cause some problems.
Well,
Did we have full house right from the beginning of the year, Sandy?
Yeah, I mean, you do lose a day here and there.
Yeah.
We have lost a few Medicare residents. We did receive, I mean, right now, our revenue through October, I think we're down 88,000.
Right.
Okay, we had a deficit at the end of last year of 963,000. Right now, we're at this point. One of the bigger issues for me, and I guess, and this has nothing to do with me, and it has nothing to do with a comment of how we do things right now. It would be really helpful if you could go to your computer and every day look to see where you're at. So you know what you've received, what you've done, because this issue of posting and the issue of, this is our system, and again, it's the way we do things, but I think to be held accountable and to be even more aggressive in what we're doing is, we need a better system.
John, do we have that capability? Are we just not punching in the numbers, or?
That would be a software issue.
software
You would need to speak with, I would think, KeenCare and what their system is capable of. The network itself that I'm responsible for, we could make it happen, absolutely. But it's what KeenCare offers
Is that,
Sandy and her people.
Right.
would that be the only company? Would that be the
No.
only?
No, there are other software companies out there, but I imagine it would be very expensive and
Sandy, are you talking a daily profit and loss statement, right, essentially?
You should be able to know at any day where you're
It's a
at,
daily profit and loss.
where you're
statement.
at.
Really? I guess I'm looking at it from the standpoint, is it our office that's not
No,
giving you the
No,
information?
no. It's just that they're posting when they're, it's the whole process. And again, I think, it's from what we do to what, I mean, we work as a team into
Yeah.
a central batch. And I think as we're,
What do we need to do that?
Program.
yeah.
We have the computer capabilities right now?
from a hardware standpoint, yes. It's what KeenCare offers, and we would really need to set a meeting with the rep from KeenCare and pose those questions to the software reps as to what changes.
You mean we have to enter into a contract, it's gonna cost us to get this information, versus
Well, you
buying the
have a
software?
You have a contract with them. What the capabilities of that software are, I personally don't know.
Okay.
So it would be more appropriate to ask the software company
Okay.
as to what they can do and what changes could be made.
Okay.
Um,
Well, that's one of our goals, is to get to that point.
The other thing that I'd like to speak upon in reference to what Representative Babson just mentioned is that part of our expense is part of our revenue, yields more revenue. If you heard what I said in regard to, in PT, our expense is going from 90,000 to 150,000 added expense. Add expense to yield more revenue. Maybe it would be helpful upon presentation as to look at what the expense is that yields that revenue. I mean, we're talking, $300,000, $400,000 here. So I guess you have that point, you have the pro share money, you have this other money, and to think that going into a new building and you're going to be in the black first year, I with no historical data, I don't know how that can happen. I mean, I'd work the hardest I can, Representative Babson, to have that happen. But and my hope is to be diligent to do the best I can for this year. And the staff have done, again, a yeoman's work to be at the end of the third quarter to be where we are.
Yeah.
I don't think Dave's point, I think he agrees with you 100%, is just trying to explain this to people.
Yeah.
You know, but you've got certain lines where you've increased revenue, you've got certain lines where you're losing revenue because of shifts in Medicaid and stuff like that. And I think that's what he's saying is if you can have sort of succinct list. These are the areas that we've
absolutely.
increased revenue, and these are the areas that we're losing revenue that are out of my control.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, I appreciate that.
but that's like a cheat
guidance.
sheet, so,
Yeah.
you know, on a 3x5 index card, so when the
Yeah.
question comes up, I thought people said you just put this down, it says every place where we could increase profits, we have. We've lost money, but those are things that are outside of our control.
Right.
I'm fighting against the tide, you guys are the tide.
Don't think that.
That wasn't a criticism at all, Sandy, I just.
No, I
just- I think you need to come up with, what Henry said, some kind of a list showing where the revenue is up and where the expenses are down, because the delegation now is gonna start thinking, well, from here on in, we're gonna break even or make money, which may or may not be the case.
Well, I think to make money, to continue to make money, the issue is to look, and I will tell you, is again my little spiel about what is your vision? And what do you want the nursing home to do, other than what we're doing? And again, but I remember succinctly a year ago with its present delegation, and I looked around the room and I was hearing different things from different people.
We heard that Monday.
The concern and the
Were you surprised?
well, I tend to like to do things with support and for it, so.
Just,
Yeah, go ahead.
you had mentioned, when you were talking on the food budget, a certain amount of the food was with the cafe. What's the position of the cafe right
It's open.
now? So do people go in and purchase food?
You can purchase a sandwich. Usually there's a list of sandwiches and subs and things.
So, I mean, people working in the complex or in the office here can choose not to bring in their lunch, they can go down there and buy it.
If you prefer a sub or a sandwich.
And if any resident wants more than what goes with the meal, they can purchase extra.
And delegations meeting here, and it's time for lunch, they could order sandwiches and.
It might be coffee break time that we charge the delegation for.
I'm happy enough for the free coffee.
It's not free. Nothing's free.
Nothing's free.
Why did I
You already paid for it.
Yeah, you've already paid for it.
Well, go ahead, Mr.
Are we going to, I think Mr. Babson touched on this, but are we gonna break the heating cost? I know you have nothing to go against from prior, but are we gonna try to break that down between propane and pellets?
My understanding is that you want a line item, the commissioners.
We'll just add a line item.
Line item.
Under pellets.
It's hard to be budgeting for something that I don't know is a reality,
Well,
isn't it?
that's what I said, I mean, I know you have nothing to go prior to go against, but are you gonna try to, there's gotta be some mathematical, someone's gotta know, if you take how many square feet, what the BTUs of the, speaking of which, can I get some information on that pellet boil,
Such as,
such as make, model,
oh, sure.
BTU output?
I think it's made in either Wisconsin or Minnesota. But, yeah, we can get it for you.
But just, I don't know if the delegation is gonna say, well, out of however X amount of dollars, I don't have it, how much of that do you project is gonna be propane?
Well,
That's gonna be a problem, we can't.
Well, I understand
Yeah.
that, but is that question gonna arise
We can put.
because of this new potential pellet boil?
we have the information that if we were to heat annually, with the new building annually, with the pellet boiler, it's 400 tons. And then BTU for BTU, this converts to 72,000 gallons of propane. Okay.
The way it was figured by Bob Murray was that it would decrease our heating costs by 42%.
Correct.
Plus the money stays in the country.
So,
And hopefully it'll stay in the county if we can figure out how to do that.
Is the bed tax a state or federal?
believe it's state.